Yellows last night got a complete game victory from Irvin Santana. Game 1 of the series against the Twins. The Angels tonight trying to make it 2 against the American League Central rivals. Hi, everybody, from inside the Big A. We welcome you back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with my partner, Mark Gubicza. We're glad you could have you. I'm Victor Rojas. Listen, if you're going to do anything in the month of August and in September, it's going to take some offense for this ball club, especially the way the Angels have hit over the first 4 months. And last night, in Game 1 of the month of August, we got some offense. It was keyed up by Mark Trumbo and his 3-run home run. And Mark, if he continues to do this, he's a guy that is, no question, going to be the American League Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Victor, his approach to the plate, so even when he's behind in the count, he never seems to give in. And this time, last night, they tried to go upstairs in the fastball. Most times you think that's a good pitch, but against Trumbo, he was able to make a very good adjustment, hit a 3-run home run, 457-foot shot to dead center field on an 0-2 pitch. That's the adjustments he's made. Last 24 games, 23 RBI, 7 home runs. So he's helping the club by with the RBI production, which is important. The pitching's been great, the defense has been great, but the production hasn't been as consistent. But Trumbo certainly has been that guy. Look for him to try to continue that role, drive the ball out of the ballpark.
Yeah, one of the issues that the Angels have had this year has been hitting with men in scoring position. Mark has suffered through that, although he's starting to get on a roll, and hopefully it continues throughout this week and this homestand. Tonight, Joel Pinero's towing the slab against Scott Baker's got good numbers overall this year, as we're just about ready for baseball, so sit back and relax. Line of first pitch when we return.
And by CarMax, now more than ever, the smart choice.
is CarMax. Another gorgeous day for baseball here at the Big A. The Angels coming off a nice victory yesterday, 5-1 over the Minnesota Twins. And tonight with an opportunity, dare I say, to tie things up atop the American League West. The Texas Rangers have just dropped one to the Detroit Tigers. Matter of fact, the Rangers now 1-4 in their road trip through Toronto and Detroit so far. And that lead right now is a half game. We'll take a look at the lineup. For Ron Gardenhire and the Minnesota Twins, they're 9 games under 500, 8 back of the Tigers. Denard Span leading things off. Ben Revere is in left field. Joe Mauer is doing the catching. Michael Kadire, the cleanup hitter at first base. Jason Kubel is in right. Danny Valencia at third base. Delman Young will serve as the DH tonight. Tsuyoshi Nishioka is the shortstop, and Matt Tolbert gets the start at second base. They are taking on Joel Pinheiro, who comes in with a 5-5 mark, a 4.91 ERA. And Gooby, he's a guy that right now has been very hittable. The batting average against has been very high. He's got to get back to that sinking fastball.
Yeah, and he worked real hard in between starts here at his bullpen session to do exactly that. Get on top of that fastball to work down in the strike zone. Big thing for a sinker ball pitcher is to put the pressure on the middle finger to be able to create sink down in the strike zone, which allow him to get a lot of ground ball outs.
Let's take a look at the defense behind Pinheiro. You've got Vernon Wells in left, Peter Borges in center, Torrey Hunter in right. In the infield, Alberto Callaspo and Eric Ibar guard the left side. Meister Asturis and Mark Trumbo on the right. Jeff Mathis is doing the catching.
And Callaspo is playing much better at third base. He should be very active today, especially if indeed Pinheiro works down and has that sink on the fastball.
First pitch tonight is a slow curveball that drops in for a strike. Down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Denard Span last night 0 for 3 in his first game back off the disabled list. Hitting .291 with a couple of home runs, 15 runs batted in. Lifts this one out toward left center field, chasing Vernon Wells back, and he is there to make the catch. And there is out number 1. And that is not what you want to see from Pinheiro when he's going good, or as any sinker ball, you want the ball down on the ground. But we've seen that of late, and I guess it's just, it goes to making the adjustments. If you're not getting that sink, trying to figure something out, whether it's that first pitch curveball or something else to fall back on to give hitters a different look.
And that's exactly right, that first pitch curveball. Even though the ball was hit pretty well to left field, Vernon Wells was able to track it down. It's all about right now confidence for Pinheiro. If he gets some outs, whether it's a fly ball, ground ball, or strikeout, build the confidence and start expanding the strike zone against this Twins lineup, a team that's very aggressive, swinging the pitches out of the zone.
There's Ben Revere getting to start in left field, hitting .252. No home runs and 15 runs batted in. Limited action for the former first-round pick, and he'll take a strike. Revere, very good speed. First rounder in 07 out of Lexington Catholic High School, Lexington, Kentucky. Slaps this one to left field. That is a 1-out base hit, just taking what was given to him up and away. And you got to be cognizant of him over at first base.
Slight little hitch in his swing too. He was fooled by the speed initially, but he kept his hands back. He was able to fight that through the hole between short and third, and there's no doubt that he's a threat to steal. And Pinheiro, very quick move, 1 pick off the shear, and also very quick to the plate.
He'll have his hands full now as Joe Mauer steps to the plate. Mauer had a 1 for 4 game last night, hitting .295 with a home run and 19 runs batted in. But Mauer's hit Pinheiro very well throughout his career, to the tune of a .700 average, 14 for 20. No home runs throughout that stretch. But does it really matter?
14 for 20? No, not necessarily. You would hope he would come up with nobody on base if you're Pinheiro. Obviously now with a man on first, and the hole created between first and second.
First pitch fastball is in there for a strike. Revere has 18 stolen bases, so you have to pay attention to him. He's been caught 5 times.
Pretty good size lead. And there's a decent hole between first and second there for Mauer, but Mauer's a guy that tries to go the other way a lot of times on fastballs away, not necessarily a pull hitter.
That's down low to even the count. Big hole, too, on the left side with Ibar playing Mauer more towards the middle. We saw Mauer last night take a pitch that was away from him and ground one over to short. Joe spending a lot of time early on this season on the disabled list with bilateral leg weakness. As he slices this one foul and out of play, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And as we pointed out last night, but it bears repeating the fact that the Minnesota Twins have just gone through a ton of injuries. They've been decimated with injuries all season long. And then late in the game, we pointed out that incredible number that Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau, who's on the disabled list currently right now, have been in the same lineup a total of 9 games over the last year. You take those 2 guys out of the lineup, at least not being in the same lineup together, not taking anything away from Michael Kadire or Jason Kubel, but it's a completely different offensive unit.
2 former AL MVPs.
And still through it all. 9 games under 500. 8 back of the Tigers, needing a victory to stay 8 back. Mauer takes the breaking pitch low, and it's 2-2.
And Gardenhire's done a great job of even keeping him in the race. At one point, they were only 5 games out. Even when we were in Minnesota early in the year, they looked like they were done. No chance getting back, and there was going to be players being traded at the trade deadline, and all of a sudden they got hot and played some pretty good baseball as usual under Gardenhire because he stresses the fundamentals of the game.
Well, they know they have this guy, the hometown boy, Joe Mauer, locked up for a while. Joe signed through 2018. He's got a 2 ball, 2 strike count of Pinheiro, keeping a close eye on Revere at first. Denard Span hit a fly ball to left to start the game. Revere with a base hit to left field.
On Pinheiro right now, my focus is on Joe Mauer. Even if he steals a base, you have an open base, you can pitch around him.
Revere takes off. The pitch is outside to throw down for Mathis. Tails into Revere. And it's a stolen base, his 19th of the season. And now a full count, 2 on Mauer.
Again, you're in a scenario now because of that jump by Revere, was able to get into scoring positions, stealing head first, slide in there before the tag is applied. On the throw, was running right at him. Mathis tried to be quick as far as the transfer, but Revere very quick. Gets into scoring position, but now if you're Pinheiro, you have that option. Make him swing at your pitch. You don't have to challenge him with a fastball middle part of the plate.
(3-2). This one out toward left center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Revere kind of held up for a moment, thinking that ball was going to be caught, and the throw home ill-advised as the run scores and Mauer takes the extra base. 1-0 Twins. You weren't going to get Revere regardless whether the fact he was stopped between second and third base. And instead of keeping the double play in order, Wells' throw comes all the way home. No cutoff man.
There's no cutoff man in that position,
which is usually the third baseman's job in that type of an alignment. Callaspo standing near the bag at third. That's why the ball trickled all the way home and allowed Mauer to get to second.
And when Wells is coming in on the throw, if you have a cutoff man there, you have at least an opportunity to try to keep Mauer at first base. But Mauer, very smart baseball player, read the fact there was no cutoff man and easily goes into scoring position himself.
It is kind of curious to see Alberto standing at third base. Now, if there was a man at first, I could kind of understand it. At play at third base. But as it is, a man in scoring position, and Michael Kadire at the plate. 0-1 count. Kadire went 2 for 4 last night, including a double, his 20th. The RBI for Joe Mauer, his 20th of the season. There's a good sinking fastball, and it's 0-2.
And that's the pitch he's got to feel comfortable throwing a lot tonight. Staying on top of that sinking fastball. That ball dropped like a split finger fastball.
(0-2). That's down and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pinheiro coming off a no decision against the Tigers. Giving up 6 runs, 5 earned on 7 hits and 3 1/3. Prior to that, took the loss at Baltimore, giving up 3 runs on 11 hits at 5 1/3. His last victory coming July 9th, as Kadire lifts this one in the air toward right center field. Carrying pretty well. David Borges is there. They'll make the catch. Mauer will advance to third, but there are 2 outs.
So Jason Kubel will come up with a man at third. Twins up 1-0, courtesy of back-to-back hits by Revere and Mauer. Revere also picking up a stolen base. And the Twins right fielder comes up after going 2 for 4 last night. His average at .306. 6 home runs, 38 runs batted in. One ball, no strikes. Kubel just 3 for 9 in his career against Pinheiro. Really, the guys that have had extensive experience against him. Kadire, Mauer, we pointed out. Morneau, who's on the DL, and Jim Thome, who's not in the lineup. Thome 4 for 15 in his career against Pinheiro.
Pinheiro mixing in a changeup there at 81.
This one rolled over to first. Trumbo backs up on it. Will take it himself. That will end the inning, but the Twins strike first. They get a run on a couple of hits and leave a man on as we head to the bottom of the first. Scott Baker to face Asturis, Ibar, and Hunter. The Twins. Lead, and we'll take a look at Mike Scioscia's lineup for this evening. The Halos 10 games over 500 at 60 and 50. At Meister Asturis leading things off at second. Eric Ibar is at shortstop. Torrey Hunter in the 3 spot in right field. Bobby Abreu is the cleanup hitter at DH. Vernon Wells in left field. Alberto Callaspo at third. Mark Trumbo is at first. Peter Borges bats 8th and plays center. Jeff Mathis will bat 9th and do the catching as they take on the 29-year-old Louisiana native by the name of Scott Baker.
Scott Baker very consistent with his fastball, 88 to 92 range. Occasionally will throw a 4-seam fastball at 93, 94. Curveball, slider, changeup. Throws a ton of strikes, fields his position well, and it's very difficult to steal against.
The other thing that he will do is rack up some strikeouts. Scott Baker's had a very good season, 8-6 with that 2.86 ERA. Puts him in the top 10 in earned run average in the American League.
21-5 in his career against the Angels, though, with an ERA at 4.40.
1-1 pitch. It's in there. 1-2. Baker did face the Halos at Target Field back on May the 27th. Got a no decision. Asturis fouls this one off. We'll take a look at the umpires for tonight as Ed Hickox will call the balls and strikes. Ed Rapuano at first base. Brian Onora is the man at second. And Alfonso Marquez, who did a nice job behind the plate last night, is at third. Here's the 1-2. Meister lifts one in the air down the left field line. Long run for Revere and into foul territory. Makes the backhanded catch. Nice play by Revere for the first out. With that defensive gem, we will take a look at the defense for the Twins. Revere left span at center. It's Kubel in right field. In the infield, you've got Valencia, Nishioka, Tolbert, and Kadire from third to first, with Big Joe Mauer behind the plate.
Ben Revere, you see right there the kind of range he has, although 2 outfield assists, 6 errors on the season. Mostly on throws into the infields, but a guy that could play all the outfield positions and covers a ton of ground with that speed.
Leadoff man retired for the Angels as Eric Ibar steps in now. Showing bunt, takes the breaking pitch outside. Eric last night went 0 for 3. The average of 281, 7 home runs at 43 runs batted in. He's been a much better hitter from the left side than he has been from the right. 310 this year. As that breaking pitch is outside, it's 2 balls and no strikes. Last night with Dunsing on the mound, the left-hander. Looked like they're just a little jumpy on the off-speed pitches. Right-handed this season, hitting just 218. But he's had some big hits from the right side of the plate. He takes a fastball here down the pipe, and it's 2-1.
Lefties have had more success against Baker than righties. Lefties 263 with 9 home runs. Right-handed batters is 205 with 3 home runs. To get a better feel, better read out of his hand, the fastball.
Foul back to the screen, evens the count at 2-2. Well, I mentioned that start that he had on the 27th of May at Target Field. Even though he got a no decision, pitched very well, allowing 6 hits in 7 innings, striking out 6 and walking nobody. Twins bullpen allowing a 5-run 8th inning. Angels picking up the 6-5 victory. 2-2 on its way. And the breaking pitch is cut on and fouled at the plate. Ibar loses the handle of the bat.
You always hope that his hand is all right when that swing like that, when the bat slips out of your hand. You're trying to tighten up those batting gloves. He swings through that high all-speed pitch. The bat slips out of his hand, and you can see him reach for his right hand.
Didn't take the sand back there with him to fix the divot. One of those guys.
Yeah, exactly.
2-2 again. Ibar flaps down the left side. Out of play.
I never worry about that because I'm never in the fairway to have to bring my sand out. No.
You're just hacking out of the
woods.
Out of the rough?
Yes.
So in essence, that is one of your divots.
Yes.
Fouled off to the left again. The count remains at 2 balls, 2 strikes. But trying to elevate the fastball the last 2 pitches after throwing a couple of slow breaking pitches.
Yeah, not going to wow you with velocity on the fastball, but he locates it so well. Late movement, can sink it, can cut the fastball. Good all-speed pitches.
Baker making his 20th start of the season.
I'll try a slider here.
8 pitches thrown to Eric Ibar in this at-bat.
See if he'll go try back upstairs with a fastball after a slider. Going inside with the fastball here.
Jammed him and he fouls it off on the 9th pitch. Pretty good at-bat. 14 pitches thrown by Baker here in the first 11 strikes.
And the good thing with an at-bat like this for Eric Ibar, everybody on that bench and Torrey in the on-deck circle, they all see his out pitches because he's trying every single one during this at-bat. So you can learn a lot during the course of a bat like this, where what type of pitches is the pitcher going to use early in the game like this. And he's going to go fastball here, but he's going fastball in, fastball away.
This one out toward the alley in right center field. Span is not going to get it. It falls in. Ibar on his way to second. It's a 1-out double, a well-earned double for Eric, his 23rd of the season.
This is a great at-bat. And that fastball wasn't located real well by Baker. But again, the more pitches you see, the better opportunity a pitcher's going to make a mistake against you. Fastball, four-seam fastball, but it was not out over the plate. He was trying to go fastball away, but this was the middle of the plate, and Ibar gets a double. Get him double number 23 on the season.
Man in scoring position with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. The Twins getting a run in the top of the first inning. Joe Mauer picking up his 20th RBI. Now Torrey with an opportunity to tie this one up. Torrey went 1 for 4 yesterday, picking up his 14th home run. No balls and a strike.
See if they're going to go away on him. First pitch slider away. Made that mistake of trying to sneak a fastball in last night. And Torrey hit it out to center field.
Torrey hitting .232 with those 14 home runs, 52 runs batted in. This one out of play on the right side, and it's 0-2.
A lot of foul balls, and again, a lot of times when we showed during the course of the game what kind of pitch sequence you're going to go with against Torrey Hunter, but with a man on second, the catcher's going to go with different signs. You're not going to put that one sign down and you're going to be able to get a read. Watching the game, you're going to see 3 or 4 different signs. That way, the guy at second base can't relay what the pitch is going to be to the batter. Joe Mauer going through a series of signs. You try to pick up the sequence of them, and most times there's first sign after the number 2 is the pitch you're going to see thrown.
Little dribbler foul this time on a breaking pitch. Baker a long bottom of the first inning. 10-pitch at bat against Erick Aybar. Which resulted in a double. "11 straight strikes thrown by the right-hander. Tolbert trying to keep Aybar close to the bag at second. Fastball got him looking. 2 outs. We'll take a look at our Hyundai key to the game.
Bon Jovi for you tonight, Victor. Wild in the streets. Baker's a guy that won't walk a lot of batters, so you got to put the ball in play and create opportunities to score. He will give up some home runs, but you got to pressure him and put the pressure on the defense of the Minnesota Twins, because they're not playing quite the defense we're accustomed to see. So get them out of their comfortable positions, move runners, hit and run, try to steal some bases to create opportunities to score.
Opportunity is there to try to tie things up with Aybar standing at second with 2 outs now. Bobby Abreu coming up. Bobby went 0 for 4 yesterday. Picked up an RBI, his 42nd of the year. Hitting .261. Breaking pitch catches the inside corner for a strike. Abreu just 2 for 13 in his career against Scott Baker. 1 walk and 6 punch outs. Oh, 1 pitch. That's inside. Evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of off-speed stuff from Baker so far. As you pointed out, not an overpowering guy, but will rack up the strikeouts. A punch out of Torrey Hunter. It's 114th strikeout in 123 innings this year.
That's the thing with him. He only 31 walks, so he's always around the strike zone. Changes speeds very well with all of his pitches. All 4 pitches he can throw a strike with at any point in the count.
Abreu takes a fastball for a strike, 1-2. Working both sides of the plate, as we saw Dunsing a little bit yesterday before it made the mistake to Mark Trumbo, and then followed that up with a mistake to Torrey Hunter. He's been very good. Baker has of his last 4 starts. He's a guy who spent some time on the disabled list this year with a strained right flexor. Bobby strikes out swinging. The inning comes to an end as the Angels leave a man in scoring position, and Baker picks up a couple of strikeouts, and after 1, Minnesota on top. On the driver's side and by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Twins got a run on the top of the first inning, lead it 1-0 as we start at the top of the second. Danny Valencia, Delmon Young, and Tsuyoshi Nishioka is shortstop for Minnesota. That is 6, 7, and 8 for the Twins against Pinheiro. Gave up 2 hits in the first. Danny Valencia had a 1-for-4 game last night. The Twins' third baseman comes in batting .242, 12 home runs and 56 runs batted in. The product from the U, the University of Miami. Listening down low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Valencia, one of those guys that, as we saw last night, very susceptible to the breaking pitch down and away, off the plate.
But does have a good power swing for fastballs. Pretty productive season for him so far as the everyday third baseman.
Good sinking fastball there, evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Count remains at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And that's what you like to see, consistency out of that fastball. That pitch before that last one, down and in on the sink. That fastball starting off the outside corner and catching the corner and getting a late swing on that good moving fastball on the outer half of the plate. So far so good as far as this inning for Pinheiro.
Breaking pitch, lined into left field. Vernon trying to cut it off and keep Valencia at first, and he will. As he gets the baseball back into Valencia, has himself a leadoff base hit. Fans, follow the Halos at foxsportswest.com/angels and read Michael Martinez's column on unwritten rules. Can't wait to read that one. Be sure to vote for the Angels poll question. Which do you think is the most amazing Major League Baseball record? Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. No hitters in consecutive starts by Johnny Vandermeer. 424 for a season. Rogers Hornsby are 511 career victories. Fastball is up and in to Delmon Young for ball 1.
It's a pretty good one. That's tough choices. 511 career wins. Obviously, it's just, I mean, it's never going to be close to being touched again.
Delmon Young swings and drives one out toward deep left center field. Wells is back, and the Twins have a 3-0 lead. Young with his 3rd home run of the season.
And the struggles continue for Pinheiro. At one point, looks like he's going to have that sinking fastball back. This time it runs over the middle of the plate. That lateral movement, not the sink movement on the fastball, but lateral movement. Runs to the big part of the bat, and that's what happened there to Delmon Young, and he hits that one out to left center field for a 2-run home run. Getting number 3 and 29 RBI on the season.
Nishioka takes outside for ball 1. He went 1 for 4 last night. You see the numbers for Delmon Young. Career high 21 home runs last year. Also had 112 runs batted in. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Angels playing from behind here with Pinheiro on the mound again. But to that end, the Angels had the opportunity to at least tie things up in the bottom of the first. Man in scoring position of 1 out. Unable to cash in the run. With Torrey Hunter, Bobby Abreu striking out to end the first. So 3-0 Minnesota. Nishioka fouls it back, and it's 2-2. Been a struggle for Pinheiro. Not a guy that will rack up strikeouts, but has had a 7 strikeout game this year, but he's coming off 3 straight starts, which has not picked up a strikeout. That's the longest stretch of his career. A full count.
Even if you're not a strikeout pitcher, you're generally going to pick up 2, 3, 4 strikeouts during the course of the game just by spotting your pitches, and that's the thing that's been an issue for Pinheiro, not spotting that fastball well enough.
3-2, got him looking. There's a strikeout. And the first down here in the second.
This fastball right here, he spotted well with great movement. Two-seam fastball starting in on the hip and catching the inside corner.
And right after that strikeout, too, you see Piñeiro kind of turn around as Mathis was getting ready to throw the baseball around the infield, kind of shake his head. You can just tell the frustration as he continues to try to figure things out.
Comes down to confidence, too. If he has a string of good innings, all of a sudden the confidence will come back for him. But when you struggle, you make a pitch here and there and give up some hits or whatever, you make a mistake and you give up a home run, it's tough to have the confidence to throw strikes.
Yeah, and it's not even the matter of from one inning to the next. For Piñeiro, it's been from one pitch to the next. This one bounced towards short. Ibar's going to have to hurry, and they get told by his step for the second out. And my point being, you get a great pitch on Nishioka to get the strikeout, and that it's being able to repeat that mechanic, that delivery, so that you can continue to throw that same pitch to a left-handed batter on a consistent basis.
And use all your pitches in that same arm slot, the same mechanics, whether it be your fastball or your curveball, your slider, or your split-finger fastball. He has to use all his pitches. You can't just rely necessarily on the fastball until he gets confident enough where he can start on the corner and then start expanding the strike zone, get some easy outs, so they swing at pitches off the strike zone down. But if it's up with lateral movement, very difficult to get hitters to swing at those pitches.
Span fouls it off to the left. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on the Twins center fielder who hit a fly ball to left field to start this game. Minnesota with a run in the first, 2 here in the second. Delmon Young with his 3rd home run of the season, putting the Twins up 3-0. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Span on the disabled list from June the 9th through Monday with a concussion. His name was thrown around quite a bit. As a matter of fact, his name was linked a lot to the Washington Nationals. Deal that was not consummated, obviously. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Span going to his Twitter account and basically saying, you know what, I want to stay in Minnesota. I don't want to go anywhere else. Likes it there. Signed a deal to stay there for a couple more years. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. A couple of strikeouts for Piñeiro. Maybe, just maybe, he's figured it out. But as we head to the bottom of the second, the Angels trail at 3-0. Anniversary of Angels baseball. Doug DeCinces, former Angel third baseman between '82 and '86, throwing out the ceremonial first pitch to his son. And That is some sink move to it. That was pretty good.
Well, let me tell you, that gold ball is a little bit different to throw. I don't know if you tried throwing that at all, but the seams is really slick, and I was happy my son caught it.
How have you been?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Doing good.
I got to tell you, man, I grew up watching you. Obviously, there was a time where my dad's career was finishing. Yours was kind of getting up to speed, so you kind of played against each other. But I absolutely loved watching you play third base, so much so that in high school I wore number 11
Really?
for a number of years, just because I just loved the style, the way you played third base. I didn't get a chance to watch Brooks Robinson play, but to me you were the guy that's like, you know what, hey, and I grew up in Kansas City, by the way.
Wow.
And there was a number 5 that was also pretty good at third base.
Guy played third in that city.
So I was kind of asinine to wear number 11 in Kansas City growing up.
Well, I appreciate the honor. That's a great honor. You know, to have that. The only trouble about you telling when he was a kid.
Exactly. He likes to pull that one on me.
You know, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, speaking of back there in Baltimore, you got to see, obviously, learn a lot from Brooks. Did he help you out as far as how you position yourself and played that third base position?
Well, you know, one of the greatest things that, you know, when I came up with Baltimore, I mean, I had Boog Powell, first base, Gold Glove, Bobby Grich, Mark Belanger, and Brooks, and I had to replace all of those guys. And I watched every one of them. But I really focused on Brooks, and I copied his footwork. And his footwork is something that, you know, I don't see all the time out here. I'm kind of surprised. I see guys land a little bit different than the way I did. But, you know, Brooks's feet were, you know, he was never a fast runner, but he was extremely quick off the ball. And I learned that, and I think it made a huge difference for me.
Do you think the game has evolved so much so more of an offensive sport as Callaspo's kind of ground down here for out number 2, meaning it seems to be, as you're brought up in today's game, whether in high school, college, whatever the case may be, seems to be more offensive centric as opposed to focusing on defense. Have we lost that?
You know, I really can't say that because, you know, I think everything is offense. Everybody wants to hit. Everybody wants to hit home runs and things like that. I find here sometimes in the big leagues, you know, I things have changed a little bit defensively. I think, you know, there's some great plays and everything like that, but I just know that the adjustments and things. When I come to a game, I see guys maybe not adjusting as much as we did. I can remember guys moving all over the field.
Well, I mean, you could also see now in baseball, third base position was always known as a good defensive position, but a power and run producing position. Now you see guys more that just put the ball in play and steal some base situational type hitters. That seems to be the difference too for me.
I agree with that. I mean, I think some of the guys, but I mean, when you watch a guy like I've always, I remember watching Matt Williams play, and he was really good. And Scott Rowland, I mean, here's a guy that can play defense. And I remember when I was coming through that, you know, I mean, besides George Brett, you had Mike Schmidt, you know, I mean, I could list a bunch of guys. Greg Nettles. Everybody was a hitter and a glove, and it was important.
Bill Madlock.
Huh?
Bill Madlock, who also won a couple batting titles. Not too bad. As Trumbo bounces this one to short. And a little bit of a high throw, and it's 1-2-3 inning for Scott Baker. Doug, always a pleasure getting a chance to catch up with you. Enjoy the rest of the night here, and great seeing you as always.
All right, my pleasure.
Doug DeCinces. He just had to throw that dig at you.
That nobody heard that, right?
No, I think they did. As a matter of fact, if they didn't, we could probably sniff.
No, that's all right. That's okay.
Replay it.
I never remember those things anyhow.
Oh man. Ben Revere bouncing one toward the middle as Sturris has it. And there's the first out.
I really like what he talked about as far as his foot position in that third base position. He was always so solid at watching Brooks Robinson, arguably the best fielding third baseman, to be able to learn from him and bring it out throughout his entire career. Put yourself in good position to make the plays. I mean, it's a tough position, third base. The reactionary position you're playing in a lot of times. You got strong hitters. You got guys hit off the end of the bat. You're always moving. So it's all about the footwork to be in position to make those plays.
Doug was one of those guys that had back issues, especially late in his career, and he carried over into his post-baseball career, but looking good. Had a surgery a couple of years ago. Mauer has a 2-ball, no-strike count also many moons ago on this date against the Minnesota Twins. He had a 3-home run game.
That power position.
That? 1982 in his first year.
That was a good year. Well, didn't complete the year necessarily, but it was a good year to get to the postseason.
It was a good season. Good season in the first good 2 games against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah. So we'll stop it at that. The first 2 games were very good.
That will always be ingrained in my mind because I was in Milwaukee for those 3 games. Horrible.
I remember watching it too, thinking the Angels were going to advance and get to the World Series. That's when it was a difficult thing. It was a 5-game series that first round. Tough. You see how difficult it is that first round of the divisional series.
Yep, Mauer bouncing this one to his Sturris. 2 ground ball outs for Pinheiro. 2 outs here in the third. Fans, on Saturday, hip-hop star Ludacris will continue the post-game summer concert series presented by SRS Labs in association with Budweiser. Fans will also receive 5 free music downloads and the chance to win an Android phone. Purchase your tickets today at the Angels Stadium ticket office or at angels.com/concerts. Are you
just raising the roof?
Are you going to be there Saturday raising the roof?
Oh, there's no question.
Did you
Why
seriously
would I not?
Just do that as I was reading
just
this?
looking at Norm.
Oh, man. That's pretty good if it were 1996.
Hey, we were delving back into some special times back then. We saw 1982 when Doug DeCinces hit 3 home runs against the Twins in a game.
Kadire 0 for 1. He had a fly ball to center his first time up. Breaks his bat here and loops one out to Meiser Sturris. And Pinheiro with a 1-2-3 inning. Head to the bottom of the third. Twins leading at 3-0. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Three nothing Minnesota. Bottom of the third. The Halos setting up 8-9-1. Borges, Mathis, and Izturis against Scott Baker at a 1-2-3 second. Did pick up a couple of strikeouts in the first. The only hit, one out double by Eric Ibar in that first inning as he was stranded in scoring position. Peter takes a fastball for a strike. Borges last night 2 for 3, including his 18th double, hitting .267 on the season. 3 home runs, 21 runs batted in. He's also chipped in 7 triples this year. Seems like kind of getting back to that swing that he had prior to his stint on the disabled list with the hamstring issue. Swinging through the breaking pitch there, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Still trying to make adjustments on off-speed pitches. You're right, that short swing now for Borges back to where it was prior to hurting his hamstring. Shorting up his stride also.
Here's the 1-2. Breaking pitch hit down the line. This one's got home run distance, and this one is gone. Big fly for Peter Borges. His 4th of the season. The Angels get on the board. They trail it 3-1.
And like we talked about against Baker, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but when he makes a mistake, you have to capitalize, and that's what Peter Borges did on that swing. Home run number 4, RBI number 22. Also the 13th home run Baker's allowed. Off-speed pitch, flattened out. I think a slider that didn't break whatsoever. Majority of the home runs you watch, in highlights, so many of them are sliders that stay up in the strike zone.
Halos getting on the board here in the third. Jeff Mathis takes outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Jeff hitting 185 with a couple of home runs and 14 runs batted in. Bobby Wilson got the start last night. Jeff got the start Sunday against Justin Verlander. Went 0 for 2. Two balls and a strike. Boy, just watching Jeff's approach. It seemed like still a little mechanical with the hands.
Too many things going through the swing. We saw Peter Borges where he's shortened up his swing, shortened up his stride, quicker through the baseball. There's a lot of movement in his hands for Mathis. Dropping the hands and then going through with your swing. Well, Mickey Hatcher has him working on the soft toss, BP, and he's talking about the exact same thing with the hand. There's so much movement through the swing, it makes it difficult to make good contact.
3-1, and it's on those pitches right there that Scott Baker throws a fairly straight fastball. There's not a whole lot of movement to it. That 2-0 pitch was a fastball right down the pipe, and that's the pitch you would normally think if he is short to the baseball, he's going to drive it, regardless who the hitter is, for the most part. We've seen a lot this year just missing those pitches. This one grounded to short on the breaking pitch. Nishioka's got it. There's out number 1.
Again, that adjustment for Mathis as Mickey Hatcher tries to convince him to shorten up that swing. Not as much movement with the hands through the baseball. You get a better view right here as the hands are dropping down. There's a lot of movement. There's curling in the hands and then through the baseball. You're not allowing yourself to get the bat head out in front of the plate to be able to make consistent contact. Before he hurt his wrist last year, Mathis was in a good groove as far as getting his hands through, but the movement makes it more difficult for Jeff. He's been solid defensively, but you can see the frustration on his own face in which he's not hitting pitches which you would assume he's going to hit, and he is accustomed to hitting.
Meiser with a 1 ball, 1 strike count, 0 for 1. Hit a fly ball to left field in the bottom of the first. Two balls and 1 strike. The Angels getting on the board here in the third. Peter Borges, a leadoff home run down the left field line, his 4th of the year, the 90th for the Angels. It's 3 balls and a strike. So the approach changes against Baker now, second time through the order. Ibar, who had a double in the first, stands on deck. The 3-1 pitch. And it's outside, and there's a walk. First issued by Baker, and that'll bring up Ibar. The Angels Wives will host the Angels for Animals event in association with the OC Animal Care Center on Saturday at 4 p.m. under the big hats. Mystery bags and raffle tickets will be available for sale for autographed baseballs and memorabilia. Fans who receive a VIP pass in their mystery bag will get a VIP experience with select Angels. For more information on this great cause, visit angels.com/community.
Isn't Howie Kendrick going to be out there signing some autographs too?
I believe so.
The All-Star, Howie Kendrick.
Howie not in the lineup today. The breaking pitch is outside for ball 1. Ibar had a 10-pitch at-bat that resulted in his 23rd double of the year, tying a career high for him, which he set back in 2009. Pulls this one down the right field line. If it's fair, it's got a chance, and just foul. A 1-ball, 1-strike count just out in front of that off-speed pitch.
And you can see Baker utilizing a slide step. He had a good view. That side view is trying to be quick to the plate. Very good as far as fielding his position. Knows how to slow down a running game. This time the pitcher was up in the strike zone. Ibar just pulled that one foul. With a couple good swings against Baker already in the game.
Boy, long look in. Ibar gets tired of waiting and backs out. See Mauer going with the touch signs first, then going with the fingers, and that's something you sometimes see with a guy at second base. Ibar takes a strike here, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, a lot of times when you touch, the chest pecker up to the mask, it's given location of the pitch, then you go through the sequence of signs. So that way you don't have to put, say, fastball down 1 and then tap the inside or outside of your leg to be able to say where you're going to throw that pitch. The taps on the body before the sign is put down is an indication of where the pitch is going to be located.
One-two. Jammed him, popped up. Mauer will give it a look, but what's in the seats? The count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes. I mean, did you care what the catcher was doing as far as the signs? Did you want it as simple as possible, or were you trying to fool everybody?
No, I basically would have my catcher set in the middle part of the plate, and I would move the ball myself. And I learned that from Bob Boone, who just said if this way you get a better chance for the umpire to get a good view of your pitch to determine if it's going to hit the corners. And there were certain stadiums, like old Yankee Stadium, because it seemed like home plate was so far away from the mound there, although it's always 60 feet 6 inches. It was darker down there, so I had to go through taps as far as my signs because I couldn't see the catcher signals being put down. That's why you see a lot of guys, painting their nails or putting tape on their fingers to be able to read the signs being put down.
Fingernail polish, a big thing now?
Yeah, you see that quite a bit. I used to just try. I think that's a fastball. I'll throw a cut fastball.
What?
That way I'm caught in between a slider and a fastball.
There are guys that cannot see the signs regardless of what you do, especially at different ballparks. 1-2 pulled through the right side of base hit. Asturis rounding second. He is headed to third, and Eric Ibar with his second hit of the game. The Halos have runners at the corners with 1 out. Torrey Hunter coming up.
No hesitation whatsoever for Asturis because of the fact that Kubel playing so deep and right. Anything through that hole there between first and second, you'd easily be able to cruise into third base. Another quality at bat, Ibar. All-speed pitch, ground ball. You see Kubel playing so deep, there's no chance to be able to charge in and make that throw to third base.
It's Stewart at third base, Ibar at first. Here's Torrey, struck out looking in the first, so he's 0 for 1. Revere is very shallow in left, but Span and Kubel deep in center and right, respectively. Torrey lifts a fly ball down the line. Kubel giving chase. Not going to get there. It's no balls and a strike. Again, Baker staying away from Torrey. Give him a couple of little batting practice fastballs, a little slider away, and it got him with that fastball.
You can see how Dio Ebel running down the line on that fly ball to be able to give Meister a good look. If just in case Kubel catches that ball, he's able to wave him in. That way, Meister can focus on Dino and just go strictly towards the plate if Kubel catches that foul ball.
You wonder if at some point Ibar is on the move. 23 stolen bases for him. Having been caught 4 times. Got a pretty good lead at first. Torrey takes that fastball on the inside corner, 0-2.
And that might be the only fastball he's going to get on the inner half of the plate, unless it's a mistake. And Torrey trying to get something in the air. Baker trying to stay in on that pitch to be able to prevent that from happening.
Staying away from him. Just off the end of the bat. Count remains at no balls, 2 strikes. The Braves, the guy that is on deck. Torrey has been susceptible to the double play ball this year. 21 times he's grounded into a double play. Ibar again with a pretty good lead at first. Stewart with a 1-out walk. Ibar with a seeing eye single through on the right side. And that's why the Angels have runners at first and third. Minnesota with a run in the first, 2 in the second. The Angels have gotten one here in the third on the Borges home run. Down in the dirt. Ibar's going to take off for second base. He's going to get in there safely.
A great lead by Eric Ibar. We talked about his baseball instincts. He's so solid. Joe Mauer did a nice job of blocking that pitch in the dirt. But Ibar read it well. As that ball hit the dirt, reads it, goes. Good secondary lead, good reaction, and a good jump for Eric Ibar, getting into scoring position, taking away that potential double play ball.
Infield still playing back, although Kadire is in near the cut of the grass at first. They'll give up the run for the out.
This is where Baker tries to elevate the fastball, too.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
And how he does that, he creates that by dropping his elbow to be able to have a better chance of staying above the letters with that pitch.
Here's the 2-2. Torrey fouls one straight back.
Doug DeCences would have been very proud of you, Victor, on that play.
Count remains at 2-2. With glasses on, too, by the way.
Thanks for protecting
you taking
us in here. Yes. No, I'm getting out of the way.
Dean had the happiest feet in the world, our stage manager. Torrey hits one down the right field line. Kubel near the corner, and this one's into the seats. Staying away from him again. Fastballs away. I guess now you've got to be cognizant as a hitter, at least as a pitcher. My mentality is, you know what? I've given him and I've shown him something away, whether it's fastball or cutter away. I might try to sneak that fastball inside.
He might think that, or he can go right back with a slider off the outside corner to see if Torre will be overly aggressive because he's throwing a pitch out there. Now, if your Torre comes inside on that fastball, you just try to inside-out ground ball at the very least to second base.
Right. Kadires move back at first. Torre runs to the left field. Revere's not going to get this one. 2 runs will come in. A 2 RBI single for Torrey Hunter. This game is tied up at 3.
You know, we've seen some angel hitters in the course of this game have some good long at-bats against Baker, and then Baker makes mistakes. Ibar did that earlier. Torre in Torreytown turns on that fastball. You mentioned the Baker fastball in, but he didn't get it in far enough, and he was ready for it. See, that ball was the middle of the plate. That's the dangers. If you're going inside, especially if you're throwing a number of pitches away, it's got to be with conviction off the plate, because Torrey's thinking in terms of, I'm getting this run across no matter what. As a pitcher, you can expand the zone against him. But he went in with a fastball, missed location, threw it for a strike, and Torrey capitalized.
8-pitch at bat for Torrey Hunter as he picks up his 53rd and 54th runs batted in. Rick Anderson, a visit to the mound. A lot of pitches thrown overall by Baker. So it seems anyways, because of the foul balls. Doesn't seem like it's high pressure situations, former stressful pitches. He did have a fairly easy second inning, but already at 60 pitches because of a 10-pitch at bat to Ibar, an 8-pitch at bat to Torrey Hunter.
Might see hit and run during this sequence for Bobby too, with Torrey at first base. Keep applying the pressure.
Abreu, a strikeout victim in a first, so he's 0 for 1. Takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. .30 pitches thrown by Baker here in the 3rd inning. And it started off with Peter Borges with 2 strikes, homering down the left field line, his 4th of the year. Mathis followed with a ground ball out. Stewart with a walk, Ibar with a single, and now Torrey with a 2 RBI single. Still only 1 out here in the 3rd. Torrey takes off, and Abreu pops this one up. 3rd base side as Valencia comes on. 2 outs. Torrey near the bag at first base.
That was your goal in the hit and run, is to hit the ball down on the ground. Bobby got underneath on that swing and pops it up to 3rd base.
So Vernon comes up now with 2 outs and Torrey Hunter at first base. Wells popped out. The second baseman Tolbert his first time up. 0 for 1. Vernon had a 2 for 3 game last night. Saw that number there. 1 home run in April. 16 on the season. Missed the entire month of May, so the bulk of his home runs have been from June on. Trying to get back to that swing.
What Vernon was upset at himself. He's usually a guy that's jumping on that first pitch fastball. That's a pitch right there. He usually hits a mile. He's just determined to be patient and see a pitch. You can see, you can read a hitter at times, just their eyes when they let a pitch go by that they normally would make a good pass at.
No 1. Swinging at that breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
And that's usually the residual after that. You chase a pitch out of the strike zone. He thought he might get that pitch first pitch. Breaking ball. Vernon's always been a guy identified to jump on the first pitch fastball. You know, I have to think in terms of just trying to make contact.
Quick throw over, and Torrey easily back. 3-3 tie here in the third. Baker, long bottom of the third inning. Trying to sneak that fastball on the outside corner, and it's 1-2.
Baker's a guy that doesn't have a quick tempo on the mound. Kind of thinking in between pitches. Guy that throws strikes, but a guy that's not real quick as far as determining what pitch he wants to throw.
Way outside. Mauer knocks it down. Torrey's not going anywhere, so still at first base with a 2-2 count. Twins with 3 runs, 4 hits. They've stranded 1, and that's the exact same line that the Angels have right now. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 1 man left on, although Torrey's on base right now. The 2-2. This one fouled back. Just below us. So we'll reset and do it again at 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Outside, full count, means Torrey will be off at the next pitch. .68 pitches now thrown by Baker. The 3 earned runs he's allowed, the most he's given up since the start at Miller Park in Milwaukee on June the 24th. 37 pitches this inning. Hunter takes off, and the 3-2 is fouled back.
Yeah, a lot of foul balls today.
Souvenir Wednesday here at the Big A.
Hey, did Peter Borges hit that home run this inning?
Yeah, it was this inning.
Oh, okay, just checking.
Another 3-2, and Vernon bounces this one to third. Valencia knocks it down, picks it up, fires the first. It pulls Kadire off the bag, and Wells will reach. Question is, if it's ruled an error, it looks like it should be. If he comes up with it cleanly, it's probably an out. And they're calling that a base hit for Vernon.
Tough hop off the glove of Valencia. Recovers in time. Strong throw. His foot on the base, but Vernon going down the line pretty well. Close play. Again, the inning's still going. See if Callaspo can get a base hit with a runner in scoring position here.
Alberto takes a fastball up and away.
Callaspo, .337 career hitter against the Twins.
He's got 2 men on. Hunter at second, Wells at first. Here comes the 1-0. One ball, 1 strike. Alberto grounded out to Kadire in the second inning, so he's 0 for 1. 8th man to bat here in the third inning. And we've gone from a guy who looked like was in complete control, retired 5 in a row from the first through the second. So trying to figure things out here as Callaspo fouls it back, and it's 1-2. That one got a piece of Mauer.
Got him on the arm. Just above the catcher's mitt, forearm area. I think when you look back at this inning for Baker, though, is that mistake made to Peter Borges. He hits it out of the ballpark. He has not recovered from that. And you're looking at a guy that's 1-5 in his career against the Angels. Those negative thoughts get back into your head when you make mistakes. And he's still trying to fight his way through the inning.
One-two pitch. Callaspo fouls it back, and now we got Mauer on the other arm.
It's been a battle the entire season to stay healthy for Joe Mauer. Right in the chest protector.
Actually got that left arm again.
Arm into the chest.
Anthony Swarzak is up and loosening. Swarzak had a very good start against the Angels at Target Field back in May. Actually had a no-hitter for a while, didn't he? 6th, 7th inning?
He's late in the game,
Yeah.
yes. That was a game when was Weaver locked up against him?
I think so.
Jared went 9 innings in
Saturday game.
Yep.
Another 1-2 pitch. Callaspo fouls it back. Eight innings, 1 hit, 105 pitches. May 28th, no decision.
He's a spot starter. I mean, they did a great job for him.
Scott Baker getting ready to throw his 45th pitch of the third. A 3-3 tie. Torrey Hunter at second, Vernon Wells at first. Callaspo loops it foul and out of play. The Angels with 3 runs, 4 hits in this third inning. 3 singles and 1 home run. Trumbo is the guy on deck. Here's the 1-2 again. This one lined into right field, a base hit. Kubel has a pretty decent arm. Torrey is being waved around. The throw is up the line, and the Angels are on top 4-3. But Alberto Callaspo, for whatever reason, has gotten himself into a rundown and has just killed the rally. Horrible base running mistake by Alberto Callaspo, not realizing he had a base runner in front of him. He puts the Angels up, but Peter Borges was the guy that started it. Torrey tied things up, but Callaspo puts the Angels up 4-3. Aspa as he picks up the go-ahead run batted in, but runs the Angels out of an inning. Just bad base running on his part. Jason Kubel leads things off here. Pinheiro had to sit for a while. I mean, there are absolutely no plays for Alberto Callaspa to be going here. Vernon stopping at second base. Dead to rights between first and second.
And that's not one of those plays where you're trying to draw the throw to you at first base. You're seeing the runner in front of you.
Right.
And you have a pitcher that's struggling to get through the inning, susceptible, especially with Trumbo coming up.
I mean, and you can't be complacent and content with the fact you just picked up an RBI. You're trying to keep that inning going. You got a guy that you're ready to throw a right hook on and knock him out of the game with Trumbo coming up and the Angels having batted around. But instead, you run yourself out of a potential bigger inning. As this one's out toward left center field, and Vernon will track it down for the first out. That'll bring up Danny Valencia.
And I mean, there's times and places to be aggressive, but when you have the guy in front, there's nowhere you're going to go. And you can see right away as Dino Evil was sending Torrey home, he's also putting up his left hand to keep Vernon at second base. There's no need to try to force the issue to go to third. You're thinking in terms of getting the run. You have a runner in front of you. Stay there, be content. With a guy the night before hit a 3-run home run.
Exactly. Valencia takes down and in, and it's 1 ball, no strikes.
Plus a guy that's thrown so many pitches, you're going to make some mistakes.
I don't even know if he stays in to face Trumbo. With Swarzak ready to go in the bullpen, they figured see a reliever at that point. As Valencia takes a strike here, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Bottom line, the most important thing going right now is for Pinheiro to think in terms of a quick inning and get Baker back out to the mound.
Valencia shooting one out toward the alley on left center field. Borges got a good jump on it, easily tracks it down for the second out. We'll take a look at our AT&T trivia question for tonight. Torrey Hunter, one of 2 players to win Gold Gloves with the Angels and the Twins. Who is the other?
That's a good question.
Go ahead and cue the cricket soundtrack.
I got a good guess, but I know I might get in trouble from our producer down there if I guess. You know, well, I'm probably wrong anyhow. But you would.
Delman Young with 2 outs. Is behind the carriers, ahead of the count, I should say. 2 balls and no strikes.
My obvious way always is Dean Chance in there, but I'm thinking of the guy that maybe had 3,000 hits. Maybe.
Okay. 2-1. Delman Young had the home run in the second inning, a 2-run shot, his 3rd of the year. That at that point put the Twins up 3-0. Pinheiro with a couple of strikeouts and no walks. Given up, I should say, 4 hits. 2 in the first, 2 in the second. And this one's hit well down the left field line. And Delman Young has his 2nd home run of the game, and we're tied at 4. Now does the bottom of the 3rd inning come into play? How it ended?
Exactly, because you want to keep expanding a lead if you can, especially with a pitcher that's tired, worn out on a hill like Scott Baker was, because this one swing in the back and tie the game up. Delman Young, although he hasn't hit many baseballs out of the ballpark this year, certainly has that ability to do so when you make a mistake.
3rd career multi-homer game of his career. First down on the road. Ishioka slices one over to short. Ibar has it. That'll end the inning, but not before the Twins tie things up on Delman Young's 2nd home run of the ball game. We head to the bottom of the 4th, knotted up at 4. Trumbo set to lead things off, and obviously the guy that has 20 home runs got his 20th last night in grand fashion, Gooby.
Well, you can see his mental preparation as he gets in the on-deck circle and brings it to his at-bat. And the big keys for him, too, is a toe tap initially for him to be able to have that balance and keep himself in position. And then the load of the back leg, lower part of his body, allows him to be able to gather his weight and move forward. Keeps his hand even playing with that fastball up. That's why we said he's so good. No movement in the head, and the strong follow-through allows him to hit that ball 457 feet. 20 home runs on the season, a 3-run home run last night. It's all about the swing, putting it all together, the timing and the mechanism through for a power hitter.
Halos sending up the bottom third of their orders. We take a look at our in and out, who's in, who's out. Anthony Swarzak, the 25-year-old from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, comes into the game for Scott Baker. Baker lasting just 3 innings in his shortest outing of the season.
Swarzak, the guy that moves the fastball very well in and out, 87 and 93. Curveball, changeup.
Swarzak has made 5 starts for the Twins this year. He is their long guy out of the bullpen. Mentioned that start he had against the Angels on the 28th of May. Breaking ball, strike on the outside corner, 0-2. Trumbo grounded out to short in the bottom of the second inning, so he's 0 for 1. One ball, 2 strikes. Baker, by the way, 3 innings, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, 4 runs all earned on 6 hits, including the Peter Borges home run. Peter on deck. He'll be followed by Jeff Mathis. This is the 29th major league appearance for Anthony Swarzak as Trumbo fouls it back. Overall, 5-10 record and a 4.94 ERA in his previous 28. Guy was a second-round pick in 2004 by Minnesota at a Nova High School in Florida. Well, he tried to tie him up with a fastball. He's got a piece of it, keeps his at-bat alive, and the count remains at 1-2.
You can see Trumbo loves that fastball up. Pretty tough pitch even to foul off there. That was a good fastball in off the plate and in on his hands. He fouled it off to stay alive in his at-bat. Talk about him in the fight in that batter's box. Hope that the pitcher makes a mistake against him. Shook off a couple pitches, wants a fastball away now.
A little bit high. 2-2. Two-two. Line down the right field side. This one tailing into the seats. Count remains at 2-2. Even fooled on a breaking pitch down and away, it still gets down the line in a hurry.
His hands are so quick through the strike zone. I mean, he's going to swing and miss on occasion, but if you make a mistake when you're on the hill against him, it's going to sound loud off the bat somewhere.
Another long at bat for an Angels hitter. 8 pitches to Mark Trumbo leading off this 4th. The Angels sending 8 men to the plate in the bottom of the 3rd, a very long bottom of the 3rd. This one lifted in the air toward deep left center field. Revere is going backwards, going to stay in the ballpark. And there's out number 1. Just got underneath it. And there's out number 1.
Well, you can see that power he has, though. Even when he's slightly out in front and getting underneath it, he still hits that ball 385 feet to the wall in left center field. You see off the one hand. And during that hole at bat, I was trying to think of somebody who reminded me of in my playing days. And Mark McGwire was a guy that before he came to the plate, he was staring down at the ground, thinking about his approach against a certain pitcher each time and walking up. Similar type of swing, similar type of power also.
Peter Bourjos grounding one toward the hole. Nishioka's got it, gets rid of it quickly, and Bourjos retired on one pitch for the second out here in the fourth. We'll go back to our AT&T trivia question. Torrey Hunter, one of two players to win Gold Gloves with both the Angels and the Twins. Who is the other? None other than Vic Power.
I knew that.
Yeah, you didn't. Two with the Twins, one with the Halos back at 64.
Vic Power.
Yeah. Great name.
Power, right? You're talking
Absolutely.
about being a great name. Of course.
Here's Jeff Mathis with 2 outs, nobody on, and Swarzak delivers down low. Mathis 0 for 1, a ground ball to short. It's a strong, powerful name.
Yeah, it is. Power is one.
Yeah. No, Vic too.
Power is a real good one.
It's like Vic Tayback, the actor. Vic Morrow, another actor.
Victor Mature.
Mathis shooting one out toward left center field. Denard Span moving to his right. And the Halos go down in order. 1, 2, 3 here in the fourth for the books. Still tied at 4. Proud to wear these pins during the 2011 MLB on Fox Sports West season to support Stand Up to Cancer and their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. For more information, please visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports. Top of the fifth. The Twins setting up 9, 1 and 2. Tolbert, Denard Span, and then Revere. Tolbert a ground out his first time up. That was back in the second. So go for 1. 199 on the season, 11 runs batted in. Trevor Plouffe got the start at second base, the Southern California native, but Tolbert getting the start today. He's a switch hitter. And in the hole here, no balls, 2 strikes. 1 and 2 now, going with the breaking pitch. 2 strikeouts, no walks. 5 hits allowed, 2 of which have left the building, both coming off the bat of Delmon Young. A 2-run shot for Young in the second, a solo shot with 2 outs in the fourth that tied this game up at 4. Tolbert chasing the pitch up and out of the strike zone, fouls it off.
It's a shocking thing for Pinheiro. He's given up now 12 home runs in 103 innings pitched this season. A guy that's a sinker ball specialist. It's a lot of home runs for a guy who works down in the strike zone.
This one grounded at third base. Callaspo's got it. 1 out. So back to the top of the order, Denard Span coming to the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a fly ball to left and a strikeout. Slow curveball drops in there. It's no balls and a strike. Line back up the middle and a base hit. On an 0-1 pitch, Span is on board, bringing up Ben Revere. Fans, AM 830 and the ESPN Zone Anaheim have teamed up to host the Angels Cooking Challenge at Downtown Disney tomorrow at 10 a.m. Come watch and meet Peter Borges, Mark Trumbo, and other Angels raising money for the Angels Baseball Foundation. For more information and to purchase tickets, just visit am830.net. Pinheiro now at 72 pitches, 45 have been strikes. Facing Revere, the left fielder. That pitch is in there for strike one. Revere had a base hit, a stolen base, and a run scored in the first. Grounded out to Asturias in the third. So 1 for 2 game thus far. Very difficult guy to double up with his speed. You got to be cognizant of Span as well at first base with good speed as well as that breaking pitches in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Jeff Mathis has been so good in the last month or two as far as blocking pitches in the dirt and have good movement to be able to not allow a base runner to take that extra base against him. Tough breaking pitch. Gets his body over. Is able to keep his arm there to be able to keep it there in front of him also, and bounces on the baseball. Span cannot advance.
The Angels getting action in their pen. Hisanori Takahashi, first man up. Span almost picked off at first base. Good move by Pinheiro.
Well, that was real close. Pinheiro was 1 pick off the season. Span with a good sized lead. Caught flat-footed, trying to dive back to the base, gets his hand barely in before Trumbo tags him. Right call at first base.
Revere grounding one to the right side, through and into right field. Span on his way to third. So back-to-back hits with 1 out in the 5th. The Twins have runners at the corners, and Joe Mauer coming up.
Yeah, the sign for Mike Scioscia to go talk to him to give him more time to make sure Takahashi's ready as you go through a series of sign also.
Takahashi should be just about ready to go in the pen. And Pinheiro looks like he's going to face Mauer, who's 1 for 2. RBI single in the first inning, picking up his 20th run batted in. He grounded out in the third. One ball, no strikes. Revere picked up his 19th stolen base in the first inning. But you wouldn't think he'd be going early in the count here. Otherwise, you basically open up the opportunity to pitch around Mauer.
Mauer has hit into 5 double plays. You would like to see that ground ball right back to second base like he did his last at bat.
2 balls and no strikes. It's Michael Kadire, cleanup hitter, first baseman. Three balls and no strikes. Pinheiro talking to himself, a little frustrated. Denard Span on an 0-1 pitch, lining a single into center. Revere with a base hit to right with one out here in the fifth.
You know, Mauer is a patient hitter. We'll see a lot of pitches. I believe if he sees a fastball here, he'll get the green light to swing.
3-1. Pinheiro getting ready to throw his 80th pitch of the night. Very slow moving game. Scott Baker struggled through the third inning, his last inning. Slowing down here in the fifth. He walked him, so they're loaded up now for Michael Cuddyer. Takahashi's ready to go. We'll see what Mike Scioscia does. It looks like he's just going to leave Pinheiro in there to face the right-hand hitting Cuddyer, who's 0 for 2 tonight with a fly ball to center to pop up to Izturis. That came in the third. Good speed on the bases as far as Span and Revere at third and second. Mauer's over at first. Trumbo playing in on the grass at first base. Everyone else back looking for that double play ball. Way inside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, that pitch missed by a lot.
That's going to be it, I think, as Mike Scioscia's coming out. Hisanori Takahashi will be coming on here, and we've got ourselves a pitching change. This game tied at 4, but the Twins with the bases loaded and 1 out. For a limited time, Jack's Really Big Chicken Sandwich Combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. Still at the top of the fifth inning, the Twins have them loaded with 1 out. Michael Cuddyer at the play with a 1 ball, no strike count. He'll be facing Hisanori Takahashi, pitching in his 43rd game this year. 3-2 record, a .315 earned run average. He does have 1 save. And it'll be the first time he's pitched since Sunday.
Takahashi's fastball has been pretty solid. 88 to 90 range, curveball, slider, very, very effective changeup. And the commanding of the fastball in the strike zone is so important for him.
Kind of a mixed bag for Pinheiro tonight. There were some good, some bad, but just 4 1/3, 7 hits, 4 runs all earned. He's responsible for all 3 guys on base. Span, Revere, Maurer from third to first around the bases. And Cuddyer with a 1-ball, no strike count. Trumbo still in on the grass at first base. Callaspo deep at third. Torrey Hunter shallow in right field. Everyone else pretty much straight up.
I think with a run producer like Cuddyer up, that's when you try to throw that little sinking fastball away, see if you can be overly aggressive and get the ground ball.
Swings here, and this one in the air toward left center field, chasing Borges back. This ball hit a long way, and that is gone. A grand slam for Michael Cuddyer, and the Twins lead at 8-4.
Initially, that ball didn't look like it was hit all that well to carry that far. 5th career grand slam for Cuddyer. Like a changeup, he's able to stay down on that pitch and go with it and drive it to left center field, clearing the bases.
Cuddyer's 17th home run of the season, now with 59 runs batted in. The book closed on Piñeiro. 7 runs all earned in 4 1/3. Here's Jason Kubel. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. It's the 5th home run that Takahashi has allowed. Kubel punching one down the left field line. This one might get down, and that is a fair ball into the seats, a double. Kubel, his 17th double of the season. Takahashi's come on here and given up 2 hits, a home run, a grand slam, and a double. Still 1 out in the 5th as Danny Valencia comes to the plate. Valencia 1 for 2. Had a single back in the second. Takes a strike. No balls, 2 strikes. Piñeiro's ERA jumps from the pregame 4.91 to 5.31 with the 7 earned runs allowed in this one. 2 home runs given up, both to Delmon Young. And at this point in the game, and it's still early, and plenty of time for the Angels to do something against the Twins bullpen. Although Swarzak had himself a 1-2-3 bottom of the 4th. Turning point in this game, even though it put the Angels on top, is the 3rd out of the bottom of the 3rd. The base running mistake by Alberto Callaspo.
Yeah, that's when you just keep applying that pressure on a club. Even if you assume that Gardenhire is going to make the switch from Baker to Swarzak, he still comes in 1st and 2nd with a lot of momentum going against him. Guys coming out of the bullpen don't like to give up starters runs when they're left on the bases when they come in to help out. So you put a little bit more pressure on yourself, but he comes in the next inning, a clean inning, gets to start off. It's a 1-2-3 inning.
This one off the end of the bat, rolled over to Ibar. Well, had a lot of weird spin on it. And Ibar throws out Valencia for out number 2.
That was not an easy play.
No.
Ibar with that strong arm. If you don't have a strong arm, that's going to be an infield base hit. I think it changed about 3 or 4 different directions before it got to Ibar's glove. With the spin on the baseball, you can see in the glove, he was trying to get a grip to be able to make that throw across.
Delmon Young going to be intentionally walked here. Got the switch hitting shortstop. Tsuyoshi Nishioka on deck. Twins having batted around here in the 5th. Twins with an 8-4 lead, courtesy of Michael Kadyr's 5th career grand slam off Hisanori Takahashi. Very first pitch thrown by the left-hander. And Nishioka will spin around to hit from the right side against Hisanori. Nishioka is 0 for 2. Struck out looking at the second inning. Grounded out to Ibar in the 4th. Kubel standing at second base and Delmon Young over at first. The Angels in the bottom of the 5th inning have the top of their order coming up in Izturis, Ibar, and Hunter. Good off speed pitch. No balls and a strike. All the other games in the American League Finals. Seattle beat Oakland 7-4. The Tigers defeated Texas 5-4. Tampa Bay over Toronto 9-1. Boston beat Cleveland 4-3. Kansas City over Baltimore. And the Yankees all over the White Sox 18-7. That one at U.S. Cellular Field. Texas losing. The Angels with an opportunity to tie up in the American League West. The Angels will have to battle back once again. They were down at 1.3-0 early in this game.
Still plenty of time to come back. And that's one Achilles heel for the Twins. The bullpen has been better of late. But early in the season, the bullpen for Gardenhire really put them in a bad position, put them well under 500, like giving away leads. We saw that when Baker pitched against the Angels in Target Field when they were up 5-0 when he left after 7 shutout innings.
1-2 pitch. Nishioka bounces one to the right side. Izturis is there. The inning will finally come to an end, but not before Michael Kadyr with one swing of the bat puts the Twins back on top as we head to the bottom of the 5th. 8-4 Minnesota. Eight to 4. Michael Kadyr with the grand slam, putting that 4th spot on the board for Minnesota. They got 1 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th, and 4 in the 5th. The Angels got all 4 of their runs in the 3rd. Meister Izturis 0 for 1, a fly ball to left, a walk, and a run scored. Anthony Swarzak, second inning of relief for him, delivers a fastball for a strike. He had a 1-2-3 4th inning. Facing Izturis, Ibar, and Hunter here in the 5th. This one fouled back off of Mauer, who's had a tough night behind the plate. No balls, 2 strikes.
This foul ball right off the basket into the stands. And this is all basically the last inning and a half for Maurer. A lot of foul balls right back off his body.
Missed inside with a fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Twins with 9 hits. The Angels with 5. Called strike 3 on the outside corner, and there's out number 1. The NFL is back, at Fox's coverage begins with a preseason special as the Buccaneers head to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. How about that? Coverage begins on Friday, August the 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific in high def. Only on Fox. I'll be watching.
No question.
Somehow, one way or another. Swarzak picking up his first strikeout. Here's Eric Ibars. Had a multi-hit game, a double and a single. Takes that pitch down and in. Eric's also scored a run. Swarzak's tempo is certainly kind of on par with what Scott Baker was doing earlier tonight. One-0 pitch. Ibar takes that one down low. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Then the need for some base runners right away to answer back at that grand slam by Michael Cuddyer in the top of the 5th. Best way to get back, have a pitcher walk some batters.
Three and 0. Nybarb takes a strike, 3-1. The Tigers, with their victory tonight over Texas and Cleveland losing, all of a sudden expand their lead. The American League Central to 4 games. Zybar takes a strike, and it's a full count. The White Sox now 6.5 back. Minnesota trying to stay 8 back. Tigers seem to be gaining some momentum. Team that has scuffled in the second half of the season over the last couple of years. This one out toward right center field, and Bernard Span tracks it down for the second out.
Span's a guy that when he gets that quick jump can cover a lot of ground in center field. That baseball initially looked like it had a chance to get in the gap. He was able to close in on it and make a play.
5 in a row retired by Twins pitching since the 3rd out in the 3rd inning. Torrey Hunter steps in. He had a 2 RBI single in that 3rd. 1 for 2 game. Torrey now with 54 runs batted in. Takes a fastball for a strike. Bouncer toward the middle. Nishioka dives and he can't get it. That's a 2-out single for Torrey. Second hit of the game, and it keeps the inning alive for Abreu. First base runner to reach against Swarzak. Bobby 0 for 2, struck out swinging in the 1st inning. And popped out in foul territory in the 3rd. Fastball up and away. First time that Swarzak has had the opportunity to work from the stretch. That one just caught the outside corner. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. Torrey's got a decent lead over at first base. Bobby letting it fly there, fouls one out of play. It's 1-2. Gray looked like he was trying to turn on that fastball down and in.
And that's what you want out of your cleanup hitter, to try to hit an extra base hit here with 2 outs to try to at least get Torrey across. If not, hit one out of the yard, all of a sudden you cut it to just a couple run deficit. Bobby's been struggling of late though. Just 6 for his last 38.
Pops it up on the infield. Michael Kadire comes in just to the right of the mound. The inning comes to an end. No runs a hit. The Angels leave a man on, 5 of the books. Minnesota leads at 8-4.
Late freeze can. Chopper up the middle, but Eric Ibar in a tough pop, able to scoop it up with that strong throwing arm. Able to make the play at first base against Tolbert, who runs down the line very well. Eric Ibar has been outstanding defensively this entire season. That was our Coors Light freeze can, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Top of the 6th inning, 8-4 Minnesota. The Angels taking game 1 last night. 3 games set here against the Twins. Then the Seattle Mariners roll into town for a 3-game series beginning on Friday. Twins setting up 9-1-2 here in the 6th inning. Tolbert, Span, and Revere, same guys that started off the inning against Pinheiro in the 5th. Pinheiro getting knocked out in the 5th inning. Matter of fact, he has been knocked around a little bit of late. More specifically, over his last 4 starts, Pinheiro's given up quite a few earned runs as that pitch is fouled back. Well, 13 1/3 innings over the last 4 starts, 22 earned runs. That's a 14.85 ERA.
And you can have good bullpen sessions. You can have good flat work in the outfield. The bottom line is you got to try to translate that to the game scenario. And it hasn't been the case for Pinheiro, who's has at times he had some good movement on the fastball, but not consistent enough.
Borges under this one. 1 out.
Number 2, center fielder, Denard Span.
So 1 out here to start the 6th inning, and that'll bring up Denard Span. Span 1 for 3, had a base hit against Pinheiro in the 5th inning. Came around to score. Takes a strike. Denard, a former first-round pick himself at Tampa Catholic High School. Torrey took him under his wing.
Yeah, he credits Torrey a lot as far as his approach to the game.
A little frustrated once Torrey left to come to Southern California, thinking that perhaps he was going to be the guy that was anointed as the heir apparent, but all of a sudden there was a trade that involved Carlos Gomez coming over. Ended up taking over the center field duties. He went around, says Alfonso Marquez, 1-2. But you know what? It didn't work out. You wait your time. You've got plenty of talent. You're going to get the opportunity at some point. Denard certainly has shown that, even though he has spent a considerable amount of time on the DL this year with the concussion. But he's a guy that you like to have.
Especially in that leadoff position. Guy with speed, puts the ball in play, sees a lot of pitches also.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, as we were talking about in that last at bat, when teams were, well, more specifically, the rumors that were going on before July 31st about the possibility of working out a deal with the Nationals. I mean, when Drew Storen was the name that was thrown around quite a bit from the Nationals, and that tells you how teams value certain players by the players that are other teams are willing to give up in order to acquire said player. Denard.
Yeah, that's a pretty special player that the Nationals were willing to give up.
Never came to fruition, but Storen, a guy out of Stanford who had a pretty good arm working out of the bullpen for the Nats.
Nationals are going to be one of those teams in the near future, once they get everyone healthy. Ian Strasburg, who's looks like he's ready to start a rehab assignment.
Yeah.
And there's some talented arms in their system. They have Bryce Harper down there too, moving up the ladder in the minor leagues. Yeah, there's some guy who can hit pretty well.
Who's that guy?
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. Never seen his swing either, have you?
No. There's another 2-2. Span strikes out, swinging, 2 outs. Hey, on Thursday, the Angels wrap up their series against the Twins at 7:05. And fans in attendance will receive a skater hat courtesy of Chronic Taco. While supplies last, of course. Purchase your tickets today at the Angel Stadium ticket office or by logging on to angels.com. It's a good looking hat, Gooby.
Yeah.
Put it on.
Especially with the.
Hope fans at home can take a look at
this
Gooby.
is a good look. Yeah, it's a great look going.
With 2 outs, Takahashi taking on Ben Revere. There's a fastball for a strike. And here's Gooby.
Yeah, it's a good look going.
Doing his best.
Yeah, that's a good look.
Lou Piniella impersonation. Sweet Lou.
Oh, no question. I could definitely do some serious skating right now.
Revere hits one in the air to left. Wells is there. 1-2-3 inning. Twins go down in order. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Minnesota leading at 8-4.
El Pollo Loco. Try El Pollo Loco's 2-piece leg and thigh combo with 2 small classic sides and a drink for $5. El Pollo Loco, feel the excellence. And by Time Warner Cable.
Twins up 8-4, bottom of the 6th inning. The Halos setting up Wells, Callaspo, and Trumbo against Anthony Swarzak in his 3rd inning of relief. He has struck out 1 walk, nobody, and allowed 1 hit. That was a 2-out single to Torrey Hunter. Vernon is 0 for 2. He was originally credited with a base hit in the 3rd inning, but it's been since changed to an error on Danny Valencia. So Valencia now has allowed, or has given up, I should say, or made one of the 3. We'll figure it out. 14 errors.
A lot of
on the season. Work with me.
It's lots of errors.
Yeah. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Committed to his swing. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. One and 2 now. This one pulled over to 3rd. Valencia has it. 1 out. Swarzak's thrown a lot of strikes so far. 2 1/3, 32 pitches, 23 strikes.
That's what we saw in Minnesota in his spot start. Not only throws strikes, he'll pitch inside, he'll go back outside, change speeds very well.
Brings up Alberto Callaspo. 1 for 2 game, an RBI single in the 3rd. Takes a strike. One and 1. Alberto grounded out in the 2nd and got that RBI single that briefly put the Angels up 4-3, but ran himself out of the inning. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. And the Angels offense, who sent 8 men to the plate in that 3rd inning, has been very quiet since then. Scott Baker taken out of the game after 3 innings, giving up 4 runs, 6 hits, including the home run to Peter Borges. Full count. Trumbo's on deck. Callaspo draws the 1-out walk, first issued by Swarzak. Puts a man on for Trumbo. Hey, this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Curtis Granderson and the Yankees head to Boston to take on Adrian Gonzalez and the American East leading Boston Red Sox in a showdown between 2 of the most bitter rivals. Bitter, yeah, in all of sports. This week's telecast of Fox Saturday Baseball begins at 1 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. It's been a while since we've seen the Yankees and Red Sox national game.
They don't like each other.
No. Mark takes a strike on the inside corner. Trumbo faced Swarzak. Actually, it was the first guy that Swarzak faced in the 4th when he came on in relief of Baker. Lifted one out toward deep left center field, but it was tracked down by Revere. And 0 for 2 games so far for Mark. This one a bouncer right back to Swarzak. Throws to second base. Tolbert's got it. The relays at time. Inning-ending double play. 6 in the books here at the Big A. Minnesota still leading at 8-4. Twins up 8-4. Mauer, Kadire, and Kubel to face Hisanori Takahashi. Gave up the grand slam to Michael Kadire. Hisanori charged with one of those 4 runs. The other 3 getting charged to Joel Pinheiro. Takahashi has 1 strike and at a 1-2-3 6th inning. Having thrown 27 pitches so far. Mauer tonight 1 for 2, an RBI single to the first inning, a ground out in the third. He walked and scored in the 5th. Breaking pitch is in there. It's 0-2.
And one thing you notice with Joe Mauer is when the pitch is about ready to be delivered, he collapses his back elbow as a timing mechanism for him to be able to get the bat through the zone. In the back as he's about ready to be released to pitch.
Not quite the Joe Morgan elbow.
No, doesn't really do it as much as Joe Morgan, but it does collapse the back elbow. You'll be able to see that as the pitch is about ready to be delivered, collapses and brings his hands back through to be in position to make a good pass at the baseball.
This one bounced over to second base. Izturis is there. The first out in the 7th is in the books. Fans, the 1990s uniforms worn by the Angels this season are now up for auction online. Visit the community page on Angels.com to bid on authentic hats, helmets, as well as uniforms. A portion of the proceeds will benefit the Angels Foundation. So 1 out, nobody on for Kadire. 1 for 3 game. The 1 hit, his 17th home run of the season. Now with 59 runs batted in. Kadire's name was thrown around as well around the trade deadline. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Tell you what, a guy that could play in as many positions as Kadire could play and play him well with that strong arm he has and the power, run producer. Any club would want him on their team. Minnesota decided to keep him there.
Lifts this one down the line, hooking, and it is foul. 1-2. And on top of all that, on top of what he could do on the baseball diamond, just an all-around great guy. One of the best.
Yeah, he's a great person when you get a chance to talk to him.
That home run giving him a 9-game hitting streak. Takes that pitch down and in. 2-2. A free agent to be in the offseason. He's 32 years of age. Virginia native. Fouls this one off to the right. So the count remains even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. They got another all-timer on their bench right now, Jim Thome, as far as great guys. Kadire reaches for this one. Callaspo going to his left. Has it. And there are 2 outs.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure when you get an opportunity to talk to Jim Thome. It's much better now not have to face him and to be able to talk to him. He's a guy that has unbelievable power, but great power the other way also. Left center field, a number of his home runs go the other way.
Jason Kubel takes that pitch inside for ball 1. Kubel had a double off Takahashi down the left field line in the 5th inning, his 17th double of the year. Lifts this one out toward right field. Torrey is going to watch this one go out of here. Solo home run for Jason Kubel. His 7th of the year, makes it 9-4 Twins.
Minnesota's a team that's not known for a club with a lot of power. Just 66 home runs as a team, but 4 tonight. 2 by Delmon Young. Michael Kadire with the grand slam. Now Jason Kubel. Was able to gather himself out in front initially, but his bat through the zone, a pitch down, drives that ball out. Those are pretty good numbers in his career against the Angels. SoCal native in the Palmdale area.
Danny Valencia takes a strike with 2 outs here in the 7th. The Twins came into this game with just 66 home runs this season. Tied for 12th in the American League. Breaking ball missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fernando Rodney starting to play catch in the Angels' pen. Takahashi's thrown 41 pitches so far. Slow roller towards short. Ibarra has it. Double in the inning, but Minnesota tacks on a run. A home run by Jason Kubel, his 7th of the year. 7th inning stretch time here at the Big A. 9-4 Twins.
Up to 2 division titles.
He really was a linchpin for us.
It's great getting a chance to catch up with Doug in the third inning tonight. Throwing out the ceremonial first pitch tonight. Twins leading this one 9-4 as we start the bottom of the seventh inning. Swarzak is back out for another inning of action. He's gone 3 innings so far. 1 strikeout, 1 walk, 1 hit for the right-hander. Facing 8, 9, and 1 as Peter Bourjos takes a strike to start off this bottom of the seventh. Bourjos, Mathis, and Esteuris here against Swarzak. Another good crowd on hand. Some have started to take off with a 5-run deficit. 35,555 is Bourjos. Gets this one out to right field. Kubel coming on. 1 out.
Now it's time for a Coors Light cold hard blast. Back in the third inning, Peter Bourjos led it off that inning. It's a changeup up in the strike zone off of Scott Baker. It's a bomb to left field. His 4th home run of the season, 22nd RBI for Peter Bourjos.
He started that rally in that third inning, but since then the Angels offense has been stymied by Swarzak. Oh, 1 pitch. Mathis takes that fastball inside. This one popped up to the right side of the infield. Tolbert makes the catch, 2 outs. Mathis 0 for 3 tonight. I'll bring up Meiser Esteuris with 2 outs and nobody on. Got a night game tomorrow wrapping up this 3-game series. Scheduled starters. Now Dan Herron going for the Angels. At least according to the media notes that were handed out. Francisco Liriano going for the Twins. Originally it was supposed to be Tyler Chatwood. Jared Weaver's supposed to go Friday night against Jason Vargas of the Mariners. Tyler Chatwood Saturday against Blake Bevan. And then Felix Hernandez, Irvin Santana Sunday afternoon.
Well, with the off day, Mike Scioscia had that option of changing around the rotation instead of moving everybody back a day, keep everyone on their normal throw day.
Jared appealing his 6-game suspension. Still on track to pitch that Friday night game.
And for Dan Herron, that's his regular day. 4 days rest, 5th day to start. Pitch on Saturday. Complete game in Detroit.
Esteuris looping one out toward left field. Revere toward the line. The Angels go down in order here in the 7th. 7 of the books, 9-4 Minnesota.
ball game. Michael Kadyr's grand slam in the 5th inning broke that 4-4 tie. Delmon Young 2 home runs tonight. 4 home runs total for the Minnesota Twins, and the Angels scored all 4 runs in that 3rd inning. Peter Bourjos just led it off with a home run. An opportunity to score more in that inning, but it got away from him.
Most home runs that the Twins have had in a game since August the 10th of last year against the White Sox when they had 5 home runs. Fernando Rodney comes on here in the 8th inning to face the bottom 3rd of the order. Young, Nishioka, and Tolbert. 2 and 3 mark at 3.75 ERA. 3rd game since coming off the DL as Young grounds this one to short. Ibar has been busy tonight. 1 out. A little bit of a stutter there by Ibar. A high throw, but got a big target over at first base.
It helps having Trumbo being tall enough to be able to make that play and keep his foot on the base. Goes up ball in the outfield grass. Had a tough time getting a grip on the baseball.
Delmon Young kept off the bases for the first time tonight. 2 for 3, 2 home runs, intentional walk, and now the ground out. Nishioka takes that pitch down low. He's 0 for 3, a strikeout, a ground out twice. Once a short, once a second. 10 hits overall for the Twins. The Angels with 6. Nishioka just a little bit tardy on that fastball. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Rodney does have that good fastball since he came back from the DL. Consistently throwing 96 to 98 with the fastball.
One and 2. A lot more strikes too for Fernando, controlling that fastball. At times has been very erratic with his mechanics, getting out of whack.
But if he can maintain his mechanics, he becomes such a big part of this bullpen once again. You have Scott Downs in the 8th inning, who's been fantastic in that spot. Jordan Walden, the All-Star, closing games up. If Rodney can come back and start throwing strikes and not put himself in a bad position by walking batters, all of a sudden the game is shortened up with the bullpen. Guys know their roles. Be effective doing so.
This from out of play. The count remains at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Twins using the long ball tonight. As we just pointed out, the 4 home runs, the big one off the bat of Kadire, the very first pitch he saw from Hisanori Takahashi in relief in the 5th, snapping a 4-4 tie. Made it 8-4 Twins with that grand slam, and they tacked on a run in the 7th. A home run by Kubel. And a full count here on Nishioka with Tolbert on deck. Takahashi tonight went 2 2/3. 1 strikeout, 1 walk. It was intentional. 2 runs, both earned on 3 hits, 2 of which were home runs. Pinheiro got the start, went 4 1/3, giving up 7 runs, 7 hits, 2 home runs himself, both to Delmon Young. Ground ball to the left side, and that's going to go for an infield base hit. So man on with 1 out here in the 8th, and Matt Tolbert coming to the plate. And the Angels team store wants to congratulate Ervin Santana on his no-hitter. To celebrate this exciting moment in Angels history, stop by the team store to purchase your commemorative merchandise. Plus, get a free commemorative no-hitter pin while supplies last. The team store is now open 7 days a week. It's a good look.
What a magical day that was. Urban stuff. He likes it.
It's always good when the subject approves.
Of course. Why would you not? 10 punch outs in that no-no. And backs it up with a complete game.
last night. Not an easy thing to do. Tommy Green, the last to do so. 1991, he's a member of the Philadelphia Phillies. Throw a no-hitter and then back it up with a complete game the next start out.
Colbert breaks his bat. Rodney knocks it down and throws to first. The barrel of the bat ends up behind the dugout on the first base side. There are 2 outs.
I talked to Bobby Wilson for quite a while today about Irvin last night. How good of a job that Bobby Wilson did once again. His last time out there, obviously, they had a great rapport working as far as the no-hitter, but it's difficult to back it up after that game to have that same type of focus. And he got him through that game. Early in the ball game, had a tough time with his fastball and commanding it. And then as the game progressed, boy, you could see him sensing he had that slider back and his fastball command. And a lot of the credit that goes to Bobby Wilson getting him through that.
Span swinging through the fastball. 1-for-4 game with a base hit and a run scored. There's Bob. And it seems like for Mike Scioscia, that is, it doesn't buy in a whole lot about, you know, the whole personal catcher thing. Tries to avoid it as much as possible. It's inevitable that in Major League Baseball, as you come up through the system, that you do feel comfortable with certain guys. You don't feel comfortable with other guys, and that's just the nature of the game. The personalities, the game calling, whatever the case may be. And I know you try to manage that as much as possible, but sometimes you just say, you know what, this is the matchup that I like, this is the combo that I like, and those are the guys that I'm going to put together.
You know, obviously, when you're going to give Bobby Wilson 2, maybe 3 starts during the course of the week, you try to put it in a situation where you're going to have a certain pitcher thrown to that catcher. Give the rest, but also allow the pitcher to be comfortable throwing to that receiver. And that's the big thing, though. If you're comfortable on the mound and you throw to a particular catcher, that you don't have to shake off a number of times, you can just be on a good rhythm from the get-go, you're going to have a chance to have a successful game.
Count still at 1-2 on Span with Nishioka at second base. Fernando Rodney trying to finish off this 8th inning. The Angels have 2, 3, and 4 coming up in the bottom of the inning. Ibar, Hunter, and Abreu. Got him swinging on the off-speed pitch. Down goes Span. The Twins get a hit and leave a man in scoring position. We into the bottom of the 8th. Minnesota still on top. Take part in the most interactive forum during Angels games. Stats, trends, exclusive analysis, and live Twitter feeds. Plus, you can even share your thoughts with the game broadcast. Fox Sports Game Connect, now available at foxsportswest.com. Bottom of the 8th, 9-4, Minnesota. Ibar, Hunter, and Abreu here. Anthony Swarzak has gone 4 innings so far. 1 strikeout, 1 walk, 1 hit allowed. Most batters he's faced in an inning, 4. He's done that once. That was in the 5th. 2-out base hit by Torrey Hunter. Then got Abreu to pop out. Issued a 1-out walk to Callasmo in the 6th inning, but got an inning-ending double play. Ibar lifts one in the air to right field. Jason Kubel moving to his left, puts it away, and there's out number 1.
Well, he continues to throw strikes, continues to change speeds, pitches inside, pitches outside. So a lot of success against the Angels this year. I mentioned that start he had in Target Field, 8 shutout innings, only 1 hit allowed. He's just as solid again tonight.
First pitch fastball. No balls and a strike. Torrey's 2 for 3 tonight. A couple of singles, 2 runs batted in. Pulls this one to the left side. Valencia to his left has it. 2 outs. Nice play by Danny Valencia at third base.
A good reaction. Well hit ball by Torrey Hunter. Dives, gets up right away, makes a strong throw. And when he doesn't have much time to think about the throw, very effective. Sometimes you see that at third basemen. When they have too much time, they think about their throw, and that's when they make those errors at third base. He certainly is a guy that covers a lot of ground, good range.
Bobby Abreu takes a fastball for a strike. Abreu 0 for 3 tonight. A strikeout, a pop-up to third base in the 3rd inning. Popped up to Kadire in the 5th. No balls and 2 strikes on Abreu. Fuck. Oh, 2. Foul back. This one into the press box. So the count remains at no balls, 2 strikes. Nine runs, 11 hits, 1 error, and 4 left on for Minnesota. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors, 3 left on for the Angels.
That's the thing that makes Swarzak so effective. He'll go fastball away, but he's not afraid to go fastball in. Keep the hitter off balance. Bobby trying to get through the baseball right now, struggling.
Abreu taking aim at somebody in the press box. Horatio Ramirez loosening the pen for the Angels. Fernando Rodney getting his 1 inning of work. And another 1-2. And another foul ball back.
Certainly enough souvenirs during the course of this game.
No doubt. you had a ticket to this game, you are one lucky fan. Scott Baker.
A lot of foul balls.
A ton. Two balls, two strikes. Score holds. The Angels will remain a game back of the Texas Rangers in the American League West. Going into the finale, the rubber game, if you will, against Minnesota tomorrow night. Next week, the Halos go out on the road. 3 against the Yankees, 3 against the Blue Jays. As Abreu gets jammed and lifts one in the air to shallow left. Revere is there, and the Angels go down in order. 8 in the books. Minnesota still on top.
Changeup down, drives it out. Center field for a grand slam, his 5th of his career 17th home run of the season. At that point, it was a tie ball game in 4. Kadir, one swing, changed the course of this game, giving him a 4-run lead. Eventually, a home run by Kubel. It's at 9-4.
Here in the 9th inning, Horatio Ramirez will come on and get some work in, I should say. And he'll be facing 2, 3, and 4. 2 1/3 innings for Ramirez, 3 earned runs in 3 games this year. Fernando Rondi, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout for him on the heels of Takahashi's 2 2/3. Pinheiro got the start, giving up 7 runs, all earned in his 4 1/3. Ben Revere, the left fielder, coming to the plate, 2 for 4 tonight, 2 singles, a stolen base, and a couple of runs scored. The fastball is in there for a strike. Grounded to short. It's going to be a tough play for Ibar with Revere running, and he is safe. An infield base hit. And Eric did everything possible to even make that a close play. 3rd base hit of the night for Revere.
Well, that's about as well as you can do as far as that strong throw from the shortstop position on a slow roller at the backhand and then plant and throw. Revere, very good speed going down the line. Well, you could see that. When you have that type of speed and you can think you're going to get an infield hit, you're really turning it on, and he was able to do so and get an infield base hit.
So he's on board for Joe Mauer. The catcher is 1 for 3. RBI single back in the 1st. It's no balls and a strike. Ramirez last pitched Friday. He went An inning and a third. That was against the Tigers, giving up 4 runs, 3 earned, 4 hits. Rough outing for the lefty. 1 ball, 1 strike. The hit by Revere leading off this 9th inning, the 12th for Minnesota. And it's 1-2. One-two on its way. Maurer grounds one toward the middle. Sturis feeds Ibar. The relay is in time. It's a double play.
Boy, some kind of turn, too. Feed by Sturis over to Ibar. Solid play up the middle. Turning a double play on this baseball that was not hit real hard by Maurer. We were all over Ibar, but quick, gets out of the way, jumps over, and turns a great double play. Jumps and avoids contact. A good feed by Meiser over to shortstop Eric Ibar to get a 4-6-3 double play.
Oh, 2 outs and nobody on for Michael Cuddyer, who swings the first pitch and fouls it off to the right. Cuddyer 1 for 4 with that grand slam, his 5th of the year, or 5th of his career, I should say. Be a pretty good year if you had 5 slams. And this one bolted out toward left center field, hit well, and this one is gone. 10-5 or 10-4 Minnesota. The 5th home run hit by Minnesota tonight.
Boy, 2 by Cuddyer, 2 by Delmon Young, 1 by Kubel. Well, that baseball got out quickly to left center field. Cuddyer down and in. Tell you what, Cuddyer is a solid player. A lot of power, can steal some bases. Had 8 stolen bases this year, also in 9 attempts. 18 home runs on the season. 6 multi-home run game for Cuddyer, first since 2009.
This one going down the line, foul, and it snowballs 2 strikes on Jason Kubel.
There's 4 home runs between those 2 batters right there, Delmon Young and Michael Cuddyer. And there's a few home runs there.
Yep. 597 career home runs for Jim Thome.
Boy, that's a lot of home runs.
You know, I'm going back through my book here tonight. It's the 3rd time tonight with 2 outs, a home run's been given up. Pinheiro giving up the 2-run home run to Delmon Young in the 4th inning that tied the score up at 4. A 2-out home run by Takahashi to Kubel in the 7th, and now the 2-out home run in the 9th to Cuddyer. Kubel hitting one out to straightaway center field, chasing Borges back, and he will overrun this one. And it bounds off the warning track and into the rock pile area. And it's a double for Jason Kubel.
Kubel with 2 doubles and a home run tonight.
Borges just overran this ball.
He tried to react. The ball was hit well by Kubel. Tried to get back on the baseball, leaps up, but was too quick. Well, this Minnesota team not known for power. It certainly didn't look that way tonight.
Well, get it all out of the way right now. It's fine. Get all your hits out of your system. Valencia flipping one out toward right center field. That's going to fall for a hit. Kubel will come around, and he will score as Valencia picks up an RBI single. It's 11-4 Twins. The struggles for Horatio Ramirez continue. Made a good pitch on Joe Mauer to get the double play ball. But a home run, a double, and now a single to Valencia since then. Delmon Young is 2 for 3. Couple of home runs, 3 runs batted in. This one a fly ball to deep right field. Torrey going back on it will make the catch. That will end the inning. Twins tack on 2 more runs. We head to the bottom of the 9th, 11-4 Minnesota. The Twins, Glenn Perkins, who has been somewhat of a revelation for Ron Gardenhire and the Twins, moving from the rotation to the pen and picking up velocity. And he's done a heck of a job in that role.
Well, he's been able to pick up that velocity. As a starter, he settled in around 88 to 92, but out of the bullpen, he's been mid to upper 90s on the fastball. Good curve, slider, changeup. Been very aggressive out of the bullpen.
He'll be facing Wells, Callaspo, and Trumbo, barring any pinch hitters here in the bottom of the 9th. A heck of a job by Anthony Swarzak. 5 innings of shutout baseball, allowing 2 base runners, a single and a walk. Also struck out a man. Wells tonight 0 for 3 as this one's fouled off to the right. No balls, 2 strikes.
You look at that pitching matchup tomorrow with Liriano going against Heron. How often you see a guy who has a no-hitter in a game versus a guy that has a 1-hitter in a game in the same season? Every pitching matchup again tomorrow.
Breaking pitch is popped up. Danny Valencia, the third baseman, down the line, makes the catch, and there's out number 1. .705 start tomorrow night. Got the cooking challenge first thing in the morning at the ESPN Zone, Anaheim.
You looking forward to that?
Oh,
helping out?
Absolutely. Helping out is about all I could do. Rich Thompson, Pinheiro, Borges, Trumbo, Mike Butcher, the defending champion, with an asterisk.
Hey, it's all about the knowledge you have, and whatever advantage you can take to win a contest. That's what Mike Butcher did
last season. Is going to be there. Kayaspo lifting one out toward left center field. Denard Span moving over. 2 outs.
When you look back at this game, there's so many twists and turns during this. When Kayaspo was caught in between first and second, Swarzak coming in and throwing 5 outstanding innings for the Twins. Grand slam by Kadire. Delman Young with 2 home runs, Kadire with 2 home runs, and Kubel with a home run. So the long ball for the Twins tonight, but you look back, this the way the momentum shifted back in that 3rd inning when it looked like Baker was in some big-time trouble. After a good at bat by Kayaspo, gets a base hit, but then caught on the bases in between first and second, changed the complexion of the game.
Mark Trumbo out towards center field. This should do it. Minnesota takes game 2 by the final of 11-4 as Anthony Swarzak, 5 shutout innings, picks up the win.
And Kadire with the good swings throughout the entire game. Of course, Delman Young and Jason Kubel, the power of the Twins, middle part of that lineup, was able to do some damage. Of course, you mentioned Swarzak came in and threw a ton of strikes, did a great job slowing down the Angels that had a lot of momentum going with those 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Well, Swarzak with those 5 innings of shutout baseball is now 3-3. Pinheiro takes a loss. He is 5-6 as the Twins take game 2 11-4. Be sure to stick around as Angels Live is